Hello, my name is Crystal G, and I am a licensed professional clinical counselor. Before we get into what all that means, let me just simplify it by saying I am a counselor or a therapist, and I talk to people about certain problems and issues that they may be going through. What we as therapists do, we provide families, individuals, and groups with mental, emotional, and behavioral treatment to help them with disorders and problems that they may be going through. So basically, I talk to people about their problems. And it's a very exciting and rewarding job. Before we get into how exciting it is and what that all means, let me tell you a little bit about myself and how I became a licensed professional clinical counselor. So first, I was born and raised in Southern California. My family is primarily from Compton, California. My mom, she raised me and my sister in Bellflower, California. I went to Ernie Powell Elementary, went to Bellflower Middle School, and I graduated from Bellflower High School. Now, high school is where I truly was able to find myself and my passion and get more of an understanding of how I can use the things that I was good at to make it into a career. So first and foremost, what I really enjoyed about high school was getting the opportunity and the chances to be a part of different clubs and organizations. So for instance, I was a cheerleader. I was on the newspaper club. I joined the Black Student Union, the hip hop club, the choir, and the drama club. I really enjoyed meeting new people and getting an opportunity to experience new things. And I believe that it was in high school that not only because I was able to join those clubs and to meet new people, that it helped me to learn more about myself and my passion of helping others and how I could use that in today. There are many benefits in joining clubs. I'm going to give you a few of those benefits. I learned how to work effectively with others during high school, and I believe those connections with others is what helped me to become a professional counselor. There are different classes and electives that also help me to be able to pinpoint where I could use my passion and my gifts and how I can make that into a career. So for instance, one of my electives in high school was a psychology class. And the psychology class that I took truly sparked my interest. So psychology is the study of the mind. It's how it works and how it affects our behaviors, what we do and why we do them. I found psychology to be the most exciting class I had ever taken in high school. And I was very interested in pursuing a degree in psychology based on that one class. And so that's ultimately what I ended up doing. I didn't finish high school and go directly to a four-year college. I wasn't quite sure of how I wanted to use my gift of helping others and what that meant right away. And so therefore I graduated high school and I enrolled in the community college down the street from our high school, which was Cerritos College in the city of Norwalk. At Cerritos College, I was able to take a variety of classes so that I could get a better understanding of what I wanted to do with my life and how I could use my passion of helping others to work for me. And so with that time, I explored the college and I was able to take different classes to really push me in the direction of how helping others could help me in my future. So after a few months at the Cerritos Community College, I transferred over to the University of Phoenix. Now, I didn't go to the University of Phoenix in Arizona. I stayed locally in California, and University of Phoenix has other locations in California where I was able to go to the campus and also take online courses. And so during my time at the University of Phoenix, I pursued a degree in criminal justice. I know I said I wanted to do psychology, but let me tell you why I pursued a degree in criminal justice. I received an associate's degree in criminal justice because I thought that combining criminal justice and psychology was a perfect way for me to help others. I truly enjoyed criminology. I was very interested in law enforcement, being a probation officer and a correction officer. And I wanted to know how I can use psychology and criminal justice and combine it together to help others. And so that's why I pursued a degree in criminal justice. With that degree, I worked as a security officer. I worked as I worked in different group homes for juvenile delinquents, which these were children who had just come out of the juvenile detention centers. And my job was to help them to be able to establish a better life, to help them to stay out of trouble, and to give them the education and the understanding that they needed so that they could do better and be better. And so with that degree, that's what I did in that time. From there, I stayed at the University of Phoenix and I received a bachelor's degree in management of human services. So I'll tell you a little bit about human services. A human service degree may be a good choice for you if you're someone like me. You love to help people, but you just may not be sure where and what that looks like and what job suits you best. And so a human service degree, if you're interested, is it helps people with social issues. And if you have the desire to help people, what happens is this degree, students who choose this degree, they're on a path often driven by the desire to bring about social change or in a more micro level to help people improve their lives. And that's what I knew that I wanted to do. I wanted to help people improve their lives. I didn't know really what job would be best for me, whether it be a social worker, a probation officer, a correction officer. I just knew that helping people was something that I loved and something that really made me feel good when I went to work. So that is why I pursued a degree in human services as my bachelor's degree. And with that job, I continued to work in group homes, and I also was able to work as an anger management instructor, a parenting instructor, and kind of all around the board a little bit. Just being able to help people in different aspects, different areas. And that's why I got the bachelor's degree. So let's get current. After my bachelor's degree, I decided to get a master's degree in professional clinical counseling. That is because during my time in the human service field, I met so many wonderful people who are there helping others. Again, your nurses, your doctors, your psychologists, your people with the social working degree, probation officers, correction officers. It's such a broad field, which means it's such a huge field, and there's so many jobs available when it comes to helping other people. And I met a therapist who was truly amazing. And I was so interested in her job and what she did that I decided to get a master's degree as a professional clinical counselor. I went to Grand Canyon University, also in Arizona. I stayed right here in California, and I attended online. And I received my master's degree as a professional counselor. From there, once you receive your master's degree, you do something called internship. Field studies. And this is where you are in the field, which means you're working. You're working in an agency or a place that allows you now to use the skills that you learn in school right there on the job. So I became an intern therapist for 2 years. I came to work on time every day. I met with different clients. I learned different therapy techniques and approaches to help my clients. And from there, after I finished my internship, I graduated with my master's degree and I started studying for my licensing. And then I took my test and I became a licensed professional clinical counselor. So let me tell you a little bit about what that looks like and how exciting that job really is. So as a counselor or a therapist, you will be able to help people in a different way. You are trained to work with individuals, families, and groups in treating mental, behavioral, and emotional problems and disorders. They also help with children and teenagers and adults and the elderly who have cognitive, behavioral, or mental health issues. So what I did for the last 5 years, I worked in a children's agency for children who are experiencing mental health disorders. I worked with children who were experiencing anxiety, depression, and trauma-related disorders, and I worked with them on ways to manage and help them to handle the problems that they were going through. A typical day at work may look something like this. You come into the office, you set your schedule, and you start seeing clients throughout the day. Now, again, I told you I worked with children, so I would see children after school because school is important and you have to stay in school. So after school, my clients would come to see me, and I would typically spend about 45 minutes to an hour with each client, talking about whatever it is that they needed to talk about, and I would help them with the problems that they were facing. It's pretty cool being a therapist. There's not a set dress code or way that you have to look. It really depends on the agency that you work for and what population of people that you work with. So on a typical day, I will wear pants and a shirt, maybe a dress, not too fancy, but not too casual. And some days we're casual. It really just depends. And that's the one thing that I really love about being a therapist, that I'm able to be myself while helping other people. I don't want to say that being a therapist is an all-day job, because like any job, it there's a time limit, right? And so your schedule basically is determined by you. You set the schedule for the day, and you set the schedule for how many clients you will see. Now, typically, I saw between 15 to 20 kids a week. That's Monday through Friday. And depending on what their schedule was, I was able to use their time and my time and fit a time in to see them throughout the week. Now, that means with seeing your client, you have to be responsible for taking notes and for creating a healthy environment where you can document seeing your clients and being able to put together a plan on how you're going to help them with their problems. So that's typically what a day in the life of a therapist looks like. I would say that everything that I learned in school, from elementary, middle school to high school, really set the tone for where I am right now as a mental health therapist, a professional clinical counselor. It was in high school and college that it prepared me to understand structure, understand working with others, understand the difference between myself and others, and how to have compassion for other people. Knowing that we all experience different things in life. We all go through different things in life. And my experience from school is what helped me to really be able to work with others, because of how well the teachers, the counselors, the staff worked with me as a student. Being able to see how they truly cared for us as students and how they would help us with our problems. And that was something that really stuck out to me in high school. And that's what I try to do now as a therapist. I really try to meet people where they are, understand them, and help them with whatever they're going through. From talking to sometimes playing games, because therapists like to have fun too. There are so many therapy games to help people with what they're going through. One of the games that I find so helpful when talking to children is a game called the Talking, Feeling, and Doing game. They're cards. They look just like this. See them? One says talking card, one says doing card. And what we do is we talk and we do like this. So a talking card may say, have you ever been angry with someone who wouldn't listen when you tried to talk about it? Tell me what happened. We would talk about things like this, and I would teach you ways to handle being angry. A doing card may look something like this. Using a pencil and a piece of paper, do something to show how smart you are. And we will talk about that. Games like this help me to help others with what they're going through in a fun way. Another game is the What Do You Know game. I love the What Do You Know game. The What Do You Know game talks about what you may know as a child, and we talk about healthy ways to talk about things that may not be okay, that you may know about, and how we can get help with those things. So, such as fighting and trauma. We talk about why it's not okay and how we can help ourselves and others who may be going through difficult times. The last game is the talking, feeling, and doing game. I love this game. I can sit and play this game with my clients all session long, and we talk about how to talk about our feelings, what feelings mean, and how our actions can help us with what we're feeling, and so that we're doing things that are not unhelpful to us, but are helpful and healthy. So those are some of the games that I use in my office. When it comes to being a counselor, the one thing that I would like to share with you that there are different types of counselors. There are mental health therapists like myself. There are guidance counselors, school counselors, marriage and family therapists. There also are speech therapists, grief counselors. There are so many jobs that a counselor can do. There's just not one type of counselor. And so if you're interested in being a counselor, I think it's important to say, well, what type of counselor would I like to be? Would I like to help people with their speech? Would I like to help people get better with their mental health or their physical health? There are a variety of jobs out there. And so with the job that I do as a professional clinical counselor, it was important for me to have a degree in mental health so that I can help people with their mental health disorders. Okay, so the last thing that I'm going to talk about, being a mental health therapist has been such a rewarding job for me. Being able to help people has just been my passion in life, and I truly enjoy inspiring people, motivating people, and letting people know that they have the power to create changes in their life. So with a degree as a professional clinical counselor, I also decided to open my own business and become not just a professional counselor, but also a motivational speaker. So with that, I also have my own podcast and YouTube channel. And on my podcast, what I do is encourage people to get active in their life, to use everything that they know, and to be better every single day. So if you went on my podcast, you would hear me say something like this. Hey guys, it's G time. It's time to get up, get active, and get it together. My purpose is to give advice, encourage change, and empower success. The goal is for us to grow, elevate, and excel. Everyday action is required for change, and you have the power to create change. That's what I do on my podcast. I motivate people into changing their lives and showing them how they can do that with simple steps like using therapy tools like meditation, deep breathing, goal setting to help them with the goals that they want to achieve in life. So with the podcast comes the YouTube channel. I also create videos and I demonstrate how people can use these tools to help them in their life. So that has been a bonus to becoming a therapist. Also being able to use my podcast and my YouTube channel to see people who may not want to go to therapy, who may not understand why therapy is important, who may be a little fearful of talking to a therapist. I show them that this is what a therapist looks like. This is what a therapist does. Don't be scared to get a therapist. If you are going through problems, if you need someone to talk to, it is so important to ask for that help. And there are therapists and counselors out there ready to give you the help that you need. Therapy is a good thing. It helps us with our problems so that we can be better people. That's what counseling has done for me. So if you're interested in a career like a therapist and counseling, I think you should go for it. You have the power to create change. I hope that this was helpful, and I hope that it helped you to say, maybe I could be a therapist too. Seems like a fun job. Being a therapist is a fun job, but there is one thing I will tell you. Being a therapist also comes with a lot of responsibility. You are responsible for taking the problems and the issues of others and helping them, which means that in order to do so, you have to also know how to help yourself. Meaning, you have to get the right amount of sleep, you have to eat good, and you have to take vacations because handling other people's problems can be stressful. So, a good therapist knows when it's time to take a break and when it's time to also talk to someone themselves, because we all need someone to talk to. And that's what being a therapist is. So if you are in school right now and you find the structure to be just a great experience and you're saying, I can do that, I can set myself a schedule and I can do the job of being a therapist, I encourage you, get that degree, go to college, and help other people. You have the power to create change. Have a blessed day.